And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another special episode of the Simply Awesome Podcast. This week we have special guest, Maya J, also known as Maya J from the Maya J Experience on Apple, Spotify podcasts, correct?
Yes.
All right, Maya, how you feeling?
Feeling good, Aleem. How are you?
I am blessed, highly favored. Roy, how are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling, alive, feeling well.
Are you sure, man? It look like you're still on suspension.
Yeah. All the webcams sold out. I'm waiting for something to come in and restock. I will be back as soon as I can.
Hey, man, look, God don't like ugly. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, you funny. Oh, you funny. Okay.
Oh
Okay.
man.
So Maya, would you like to tell everyone where they can reach you with anything you have going on right now?
Sure. You can reach me on Facebook. I have my Facebook fan page, Ms. Maya J. So MZ instead of MS. Maya, spelled like Maya Angelou, J. Um, then, of course, like you mentioned, the podcast, the Maya J Experience. I'm on all the major podcast outlets. So Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor. And then right now I'm running a 28-day self-love intensive on Facebook. It doesn't start till February 1st, but if you go to my Facebook page, it's posted on there a couple times with the link to sign up. It's a 28-day intensive, so I go live every day with a training and a challenge, which I don't really want to call it a challenge, but like daily homework for you to implement and practice self love. So by the end of the 28 days, the goal is for you to have a new relationship with yourself, fall in love with yourself. And then um, we take note of all the changes that's happening to you in your 28 days. At the end of the 28 days, we do I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but it's kind of like a checklist, your self love checklist. Um, Yeah, that launches February 1st. It's called My First Love Is Me 28-day intensive. It's 111 to sign up um, for the basic package and then 222 for the VIP package. And the information for why those differ are on the website link. But again, just go to my Facebook page, Miss Maya J, and you'll see all the information. That's
Okay,
it.
Maya.
Oh, and Instagram.
All right. Hey, Maya, is that exactly for like single people or
Yeah,
just people just in
it's
general?
for everybody. You don't have to, it's for everybody. Everybody should learn to love themselves.
Yeah, because
For
during my
everybody.
time, I feel like a lot of relationships don't really seem to work because like people really don't have self love.
I think that's the main reason it doesn't work because they're looking to other people to fill things in themselves that they never even filled. If those areas were filled up by you, you wouldn't look to somebody else to do it. Plus, if you're looking for somebody else to do it and that person is looking for somebody else to do it, you're both looking for the other person to have this responsibility that they don't have. And that's a lot of pressure in a relationship.
Exactly. Oh yeah. By the way, I met Maya on Clubhouse. Uh,
Woohoo!
in a
Clubhouse
yeah, yep,
connections.
on a chatter house, but
The chatter house.
yeah, chatter house. Yeah, and
That's exactly what it is.
yeah, and what drew me to you is the fact that you're very outspoken. You also don't back down to people. So like, especially in like one rooms and like it got a little confrontational. Uh,
It did.
but I mean, you stood your
I
ground and said what you had to say, and I mean, that's dope.
don't think I ever seen her again after that.
You didn't.
He hasn't been on any clubhouse chat rooms I've been in.
Dang, it scams me. Oh
Uh,
wait, okay. Okay.
yeah, see with the shit, see with the confrontation. She wanted to smoke.
Oh, all right. That's what's
That's
up.
right.
That's what's
She made me not want to visit New York, just to put that out there.
up.
Well, I don't think I
I was
want to
like,
visit New
oh,
York
I
right now
want
anyway.
another 5 years.
Oh yeah, where you from again, Maya? Chicago? Not
Well, I don't
Chicago.
want to tell people where I'm from. I don't like where I'm from. I told people I'm starting to change it. So when people ask me where when people ask me where I'm from, I'm just gonna say LA. But I'm gonna tell them, don't ask me, do I know where anything is? I just chose to be from LA. No, but I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh my Lord.
Nothing wrong with Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with Pittsburgh.
No, there's everything wrong with Pittsburgh.
Everything's wrong. They need to burn this city down and start over.
Oh damn, is that bad?
They need to start
It's
with the
that
Steelers.
bad.
Start with the Steelers.
No,
Okay.
they're the only thing that's
No,
I agree with you there, Liam. It's
Nasty.
the Steelers, yeah.
Don't be talking about my Steelers.
nasty.
So what the heck happened to them after those first 11
Why do I
games?
always think? Why do people I start to be cool with always be Steelers fans? I hate that shit. Like
They didn't used to
I'm
be.
a
Those
Ravens fan.
are the fake ones. The real fans been fans since birth.
Nah, I think it's
The
all
fake
disgusting to me. But
fans,
it's all
they've been fans since something happened. They'll tell you when they became fans. Like, I started liking them when. That's the fake fan. A real fan will be like, man, I just always liked the Steelers. I don't know. That's just what it was.
just come to the black and purple. That's all we say. Come to the black and purple.
Ravens?
Of course, the best team ever.
Huh.
You ain't got to think hard about it. You just go with the flow.
No comment. Were you born a Ravens fan?
Yes, born and bred.
Oh, so you don't know any better.
No, I do know better. I know who's better. I know that we're better. Ain't that right, Royal?
Yeah. We got that.
All right.
You're a Ravens fan too, Royal?
Yes, because we got common sense.
Okay, no. If you had common sense, you would be a Patriots fan. What you
No.
have is
No, I can't.
All right. It's time.
No, I
Let's
can't
get to the
Patriots.
topics. Let's get to the topics. Like,
all right.
time out.
Let's get to it. Okay.
Oh well, first one. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. It's been like a year, anniversary since he passed away, and tragic,
It's been a
Oh
year
yeah, it has been
already?
a year.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
That
Yeah,
was
since the
fast.
helicopter accident. Rest in peace
Yeah.
to Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and the other men and women who perished in that tragic accident as well.
Yes. Very tragic. Very tragic.
I just wanted to go ahead, bro.
I'm saying it's very tragic to the families that lost family members along with Kobe and Gianna, the other people that were also on the helicopter, the pilot and the other families that were there.
That was the worst news ever in life. And we have to change the subject because I will get to talking about conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
It was very very tragic.
Yeah, it was a horrible way to start off 2020 year. Kobe Bryant has been a lot in my life, as far as my love for like basketball, and just seeing like him being the ultimate competitor, even after he retired from basketball, winning an Oscar, and still being heavily involved in his daughter's basketball career, and being helpful to younger players in the NBA as well.
Yes.
Definitely a beautiful person, great mind. I'm saying will truly be missed as well. Also, we want to rest in peace to what's the first name? Go ahead, Ro.
Tyson. Let's do
Cicely Tyson.
A legend in the acting community, a staple, black actor, an icon,
He was bringing
someone
sex
that's
back,
irreplaceable.
dark skins.
Hmm. Beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman. Also, R.P. Cloris Leachman, another great actor, another legend in the field. Another person that did their thing and was an icon in their respective community.
P.
All right, let's get down to business right now. Okay.
By the time COVID's over, we ain't gonna have shit.
All right.
They're gonna be like, here you go, it's back to normal. And you're gonna look around and be like, okay, what's normal? We don't got no movies, no actors, no basketball players.
There's no normal.
All right, let's go with we had a protest in the Netherlands. A protest was right in the Netherlands, like late last week, early this week, where they were writing about a COVID curfew from 9 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. that was supposed to stop the spread of COVID over there, and they burned down a COVID testing center because they didn't want this curfew in place. They didn't want to abide by it.
Yeah.
which they really need to because there's upticks in COVID everywhere. So I think they should have about it. But hey, they was out there riding the protesters. What are y'all thoughts on this?
I
I'm
mean,
proud of
people
them.
aren't used to being like contained or controlled. Like some people legitimately do go crazy, like being confined being confined to one space, one area. Also, people need to make money, and you know, there's a lot of people just out there just feel like they need to be out there, uh, doing what they love to do, and them having it stripped away, and maybe even having like bias towards the government. They feel like, hey, this is what I need to do, or to make myself feel better or whatever. But they're forgetting the bigger point that you need to protect yourself and protect others. And this is why that they're implementing. Even though I don't know really time wise, legitimately like how much that really works, but like, hey,
Yeah, but
but
that's
yeah,
very selfish and ignorant because they acting like it's an actual lockdown, like 23-1, like they're in jail, they can't get out with 1 hour one day. They can still go outside, they can still do things. They just don't want you outside during these hours in large groups and gatherings and stuff. Like people can still take walks, people still leave their house. They're not like, oh, you locked the house 24. No, you can leave, you can do stuff, but try to limit your interaction with people and take every precaution you can. That's what they're telling people. They're saying, okay, between these hours, there's no reason for you to go out. There's no movies to go to. There's no clubs to go to. Nothing you need unless it's an emergency to go get something like for a baby or food or something. There's no reason for these people to be out during those hours.
that's true.
So those people acting very, very entitled and crazy to be like, oh, I can't stay in the house. Like, why can't you? You're not stuck in the house. They say, okay, unless it's an emergency or something, do not leave the house during these nighttime hours where it's nothing for you to do anyway.
Point taken. What about you, Mike?
Um, I don't know. I think in these times, the fact that the Constitution protects freedom, we've really overlooked that. We've really got past that. And there's people who really think that the government's decisions are for the people, and they're just not. However, um, I don't think them writing did anything. It probably sent a message. There'll probably be more people who want to join them, but it didn't. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, it didn't accomplish. I don't know. I don't think writing accomplishes it much anyway.
It depends on who's riding for real. As we see in history, it depends on who's riding and how much pressure it actually puts on people. It does do something. It depends on who it is that actually gets the results.
Right. But don't. But the
Yeah,
dangerous
but
thing
we
about
don't even
writing.
know
Okay.
what we're rioting for. Like the one riot they did, well, I won't say the one riot because it was national. Everybody was doing the riots for Black Lives Matters. The stupid law they came out with was um what was it? The knock before entry or something like that. Who
I know what you're
it
talking
like
about.
it was little. It's like they meet and tell each other like, look, let's just come up with something little to satisfy them to make these riots go away. There's nobody getting together saying, okay, this absolutely needs to change. They came back with something stupid. And some people were like, yes, that's a step in the right direction. No, it's not a step in the right direction. They're offering you a sip of water when you need a whole gallon. Like, no, it's not a step in the right direction. So I don't know what these riots are doing in the Netherlands for these people, but kudos to them for backing their right to freedom. Like we don't know what's going on in there. Supposedly America is the best country in the world. So our circumstances when we have shut down curfews might be completely different than what their shutdown curfews look like. What if 9 to 4 a.m. is movement hour for them? That's why they said we're shutting down 9 to 4 a.m. Nothing's happening in America 9 to 4 a.m. But we don't know what's going on in the Netherlands from 9 to 4 a.m. regularly with no COVID. We just assume that because in America nothing's happening, Netherlands don't got nothing going on. But we don't know. Their quiet hours without COVID could be 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. They're like, okay, but we don't do anything during that time anyway. The time that we do stuff is 9 to 4 a.m. We don't know. So I don't, I don't have enough information to say you're acting ignorantly because I don't know what's going on. I know when they first did the shutdown in Pittsburgh, curfew was like 8 o'clock. Nobody was getting off work at 8 o'clock. Some of us were getting off work at 10 o'clock, and some of us needed Walmart to stay open 24 hours, and it's no longer open 24 hours. It closes at the time it closed at 8. Now they started closing at 10, but some of us needed that. So some of us were upset. Some of us were rioting. Some of us were like, look, don't shut us down. We have stuff we need to do. We can't make our schedule around this curfew and then don't say the curfew's for 2 weeks and it lasts for 6 months. We can't live like this. Make it for 2 weeks and leave it at 2 weeks. So with that being said, I don't know what Netherlands is going through, but I would like to believe that they were fighting for their rights, and I will never knock somebody for fighting for your rights. Why give us these rights that we can only implement when you say we can implement them? That's not a right.
100%. Couldn't say no much better.
Very good points.
What we got next, Roy?
Speaking of riot, we're going to go over to the riots that happened here at the Capitol a couple weeks ago. They have found that a second officer has committed suicide because of these riots or lack of action during that, and they have updated the FBI most wanted list, and 6 of the top 10 are the rioters that actually broke into the Capitol that are still on the loose.
How did they get these people's names?
It was on camera.
Everything was in 4K. Everyone was recording themselves. There's also, even though there's no cell phone tower inside the actual building, there is a signal. There is no tower around the building, whatever. There is a signal inside the building underneath, and it repeats off the towers that are up there. Is how they have a signal inside the building, because if they had every little outside tower, there would be no signal inside of the Capitol building.
So like bird's eye.
So all right, say you were there and you had all your stuff off, your cell phone was still ping the inside of the building because it's getting a signal constantly from the repeater inside the building. So even if you say, "Oh, I wasn't there," well, we have the data to show your cell phone was there at that time. It's picking up the tower right there.
Somebody stole it. Sorry, no, I'm just playing.
Plus, again, everyone was recording themselves in 4K, taking videos, taking selfies,
Oh, yep.
and doing everything else. They can't say, "Oh, I wasn't there. We got you in 4K right there. That's you, right? That's you, ain't it?" They're like, no. You're like, bro,
they posing, taking
right
pictures.
there.
You know what I'm saying? With mannequins, taking desks and tables and shit like that. Like, it was crazy. But rest in peace to that officer. You said 2 officers, or was it 1?
This is the second officer that committed suicide because of this, allegedly.
I don't think that's suspect.
Look, man, I can't.
What are we committing suicide for? Like, are they going to prison for these people being able to bust in? Or did their wives leave them? Like, typically people commit suicide when they feel like they have nothing to contribute to the world. Life has attacked them. They're better off dead.
Well,
so I'm wondering, like how an officer came to that conclusion. Are they depressed that they were on duty and all these people got in and they failed their job? Like, how, what?
Maybe.
I mean, anything could trigger somebody to do suicide, depending on a threshold. You know what I'm saying? Things that you just trigger people to do, commit suicide. Anything could trigger them. So this might have just been a tipping point. But I mean, is it believable necessarily? Some people say so. Some people, may not. It is what it is. But it's unfortunate that people lose their lives. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure it's tough on their families and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying?
It's a sad choice they made, but it's a choice they decided to make. Hopefully that family can make it through this trying times.
Right.
Speaking on attacks on the government, the terrorists that attacked the Michigan government a couple months ago tried to take out the governor of Michigan, and attack her and
Yeah,
do a
they
damn
have.
crazy attack on her. One of
Mhm.
them was caught, and he turned on his compatriots to get a lesser sentence. He turned in the whole cell that was working. He was working with. Again, there may be more cells out there. We've seen that different cells have been popping up here and there of these groups in like Virginia and other places. So hopefully they all get the time they deserve.
Yeah, hopefully they do. That's yeah, this world is getting more crazy and crazy by the week, by the minute. Like a whole bunch of anarchy, a whole bunch of people who out there hurting needs help.
Yes.
Uh, it's just of course tough times that we're in. That's all I would say. What do you think
Uh,
about it?
anything, Maya?
My currently is incapacitated. I think technical difficulty. It was all good. Um, what do you think about it, Roy?
I think it's very sad these people are so delusional that they think that uh, obstructing the government and actually trying to kidnap a person will do anything for them. They literally wanted war with the police. They had a separate group of them ready to plant bombs and actually have a shootout with the police while they took the governor away. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what is y'all have to be insane to think this is gonna work? Like, oh, we're gonna kidnap the governor and have a shootout with the
The thing
police.
is Grand Theft Auto.
They think
Did
it's a
they
video
say
game
what
or
it was
something.
about? People are outraged. Nobody really knows what to do to be heard. Like, let's be honest. We, the people, it was written so that we had the power. Nobody was ever, it was never supposed to get out of hand. The government was never supposed to get as corrupt and foul natured as they are. People want their stuff back. People want their rights back. People want their freedom back. People want to be heard. People want to live. They want to live. And we're not. And we can't keep saying we don't like this because they don't care that you don't like this. So I think people are desperate to be heard. They're just like, what can we do to get you idiots to see that this is not okay? Let's kidnap the governor. Somebody will see us, somebody will hear us, something will happen. These people will be ticked off. These people will be ticked off. Maybe they'll get together, like, so I'm wondering, maybe the governor was collateral damage, but I feel like people just are doing extreme things to be heard, to be seen, to affect change.
They did
I
have
don't
a
know.
plan in place. It's uh there are other ways to actually get their point across. They had plenty of opportunities to do that. It was like, no, the first thing we're going to do is plan that. This was a deeply planned out thing. It wasn't like, oh, it was a spur of the moment thing. They planned this out for months.
And still failed.
Still failed. Thank God they had a snitch in their organization. They actually caught them because that would have been terrible.
Wow.
Matter of fact, the Homeland Security actually issued a national alert for these type of domestic extremist groups because they are ramping up so much.
Yeah, I mean, like Maya said, so I mean, it's all about control. Like at the end of the day, the way the Constitution was constructed, it's all about control. And at one point, each state controlled their own selves, and now, with the Constitution and stuff, like it's supposed to control everybody as a whole, and keep people who are in power to to remain in power. And
Right.
I think that people are just fed up with that, and these are the outcries of rioting and doing crazy shit like taking the governor and people storming the Capitol. It's all about control. Uh, it's a tug of war between the government and the people. Uh, and who knows, which way it's going to go as the years progress, as the months progress.
We got 6 minutes. The whole
Okay.
capital thing, whole U.S. capital thing, that was about allegedly the vote being stolen from people. Again, the votes have been counted 3 or 4 times. There was no voter fraud. There was no election tampering. At least this time around, we know in 2016 there was, because people have been arrested for it in 2016 doing disinformation and stuff. But this time there was no voter fraud. There was no lost votes. Everybody's talking about, oh, the lost votes. There were no lost votes that these people talking about. They don't exist.
But
And the
there were
election been
votes
over.
from dead people,
Yes, there's
and they were
there's
counting
always
votes after voting was over.
again. They're supposed to count the votes after, though they can't count during the actual voting process. They don't have
No,
all
I
those
mean
first
like
chance
they were
votes.
counting after the date that is like they have a deadline. You don't count votes up until the day of choosing a president.
Wasn't that the recount? That wasn't the original count. That was the recount they
That was a
did doing
recount.
that, right?
That was a
I
recount.
don't know.
Yeah, that was the
I
recount they
don't
did doing
trust
that.
politics, and I don't trust nothing they say in the media. So to be honest, like I'm Switzerland. I don't know if there was a bad vote. I don't know if there was an honest vote. I don't know who is who, and I don't know what is what. I know that in high school, yeah, in high school, my freshman year, my dad really wouldn't let me go anywhere and do anything. So the only place I could go was the library. So I would just read books, any books. And I got caught up in the law section the first year that I moved to live with my dad. And there was one book that stuck out to me in the law section. And it said that there are 13 bloodlines that are supposedly the richest families in the world, and they run the world. Out of those 13 bloodlines, the presidents are chosen. So all the presidents are practically related by some distance, one or another. They're already selected. That's how they quote unquote cheat, because they have no choice but to get the family member into the office. So when I'm looking at these presidents, they're no different to me. If what that book said is true, and then they always say if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. So they put this in a book. Nobody's reading that book because that's not even interesting. These presidents are all related, so they're all on one agenda. The world knows when Bush got in office, his brother cheated to get him in there, and nobody did justice and kicked his behind out. And got, who was he running against? Gore. Nobody put him in office. They just let him cheat. They let it be known, and he ran his presidency. Trump, I really am baffled as to how he got into the office. But if those books are true, he was supposed to be in office. Maybe they just got tired of him. They don't want him to run a second term, or maybe they're saving him for after this term. Then he runs next term. But I don't think there's no accidents on their end. They are strategic and they are calculated. Nothing's getting in on accident. Nothing's getting out on accident. Nobody's dying on accident. Nobody's they're like the one thing they were smart about, if the 13 bloodlines is true, they were smart about passing it down for generations. Like, we're not teaching our kids, preparing our kids for the next generation. We don't have any family things going on. We might have like the traditional open a gift the day before Christmas or make Christmas cookies tradition. Or this is my grandma's sweet potato pie tradition every year. And it's been in the family for 50 years. But we're not passing down generationally how to carry on the family. And if those 13 bloodlines are real and all the presidents have been related in some way or another, they're passing it down for generations, which means after this generation is dead and gone and old, the next generation comes. And the only generation who has guidance are the ones on the side of politics. And that's ridiculous. So I don't know if who voted and who didn't. I think it was all media attention, because think about it. That was a big deal and everybody was stalking it. And whenever something's a big deal and people are stalking it, something is going on behind the scenes that we're not stalking. The media takes all the people's attention away from whatever it is, and it'll come back out, whatever it is they took our attention away from. But I don't know. I don't know if it was a cheap vote. I don't know if it was a real vote. I don't know. But what I do know is they took people's attention. And what I want to know is what they took our attention from. That voting stuff, it didn't matter to them. It only mattered to the people. And I'm like real tired of the propaganda all the time. Why they can't just come out and be honest? Look, we want to do A, B, C, D. Some of us know it's already about the power. So just come out and say, look, this is what we're going to do. And we don't think y'all are big enough and bold enough to do anything about it. So we're going to keep doing it.
I think. Well, I don't know about that conspiracy theory, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, like we just gotta put apples to apples to certain things, especially when it came to like voting. At the end of the day, like every vote is going to count, and every time somebody votes is not always going to be accurately accounted for. That's just basic laws of nature. People just mishandling, just having the human person make errors here and there. However, we can just
Yeah.
say on the whole, like the approximate numbers are going to be the approximate numbers based on just dealings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like 50 people voting for this person, 100 people voting for this person. All right, you just go through the roundabout numbers. It's going to be what it was going to be, right? Regardless. How much time we got, Earl?
10 seconds.
Oh, well,
You guys drink
we'll
those
be ready
Snapple
for
drinks?
part two. We'll get to that question.